Tyler Perry hates black women, and I'm not saying allegedly because the proof is in the pudding.
Tyler Perry hates black women.
Somebody needs to call the police on Tyler Perry.
Tyler Perry is so full of crap.
With all that Tyler Perry already has going on, I was not anticipating that women would be the ones who are now trying to cancel him.
Rivah TV.
What's up, guys? It's your girl Rivah, and I'm back again with another video. So in this video, we are going to be talking about so many things, okay? Now, in, lieu of everything that's going on with Tyler Perry, which if you don't know, right now, Tyler Perry is being sued for $260 million by one of his employees, okay? An actor, a male actor who, stars in one of his TV shows called The Oval, actually came forth with his lawsuit, basically saying that Tyler Perry, made him feel uncomfortable. It was, it's kind of like a harassment lawsuit. He released text messages. And then in those text messages, it, had a lot of like flirty dialogue and stuff like that. And he also alleged other things where he said that he, groped his leg at one point. He choked him and asked him if he liked it rough. Like all those things that we have not seen any proof of. It's at this point, it's just, allegations and hearsay. But while, doing that video, a lot of people sent me a lot of different clips of stuff that's going on with Tyler Perry. And the fact that I watched those clips, on my TikTok where people sent it to me, it ended up kind of changing my algorithm a little bit, where I started seeing a lot of, Tyler Perry conversations pop up. Now, what really threw me for a loop is that with all that Tyler Perry already has going on, I was not anticipating that women would be the ones who are now trying to cancel him. Like, I definitely did not see that coming. The women that he, portrays as the weaker vessel and promotes and supports so much, they're the ones who are now turning their back on him and wanting him to be canceled and wanting people to stop supporting him. That was a shock for me. And you guys are going to see in this conversation, it's not one video or two videos. It's a couple of videos of women, pouring out their disdain for Tyler Perry. So I'm going to go ahead and press play, pause, play, give you guys my thoughts, my feelings, my opinions on this entire situation.
Tyler Perry hates black women, and I'm not saying allegedly because the proof is in the pudding. It is becoming more evident that Tyler only sees black women as hardworking, struggling victims that of course one day are going to be rescued by a blue-collared black man. After watching the trailer of his latest film, Straw, starring Taraji P. Henson, I'm a little offended.
I'm going to let her finish. I'm not going to pause too much because everybody has a lot to say, but the rescuing person being the blue-collar black man, yes, that has been a tone for a while, but in this situation and in the couple situations in particular, it's usually her, drawing herself out of it or other women coming to her aid or something like that. But I get what she's trying to say.
And honestly, I'm still recovering from mea culpa. He has managed to make billions of dollars off the backs of black female pain, and I'm sick of it. The media is a huge outlet for the insight of others. I partially blame the media for people's derogatory perspectives about black women worldwide. I'm not talking about the Beyoncés and Oprahs and Kerry Washingtons of the world. I'm talking about normal, everyday black women. It is dangerous to continue to depict us in such a lowbrow manner. Looking at you too, Issa Rae, one of them days, really? Where's our Legally Blonde? Where's our Pretty Woman? Well, maybe not Pretty Woman, but you know what I mean. Even in movies where we should be happy and preppy, like Bring It On, of course we have to be the mean black bully cheerleaders. Do you know what type of message that's sending to everyone else? As a black woman, I am tired of being showcased as a bottom of the barrel human being. Who's gonna tell Tyler Perry that the average black woman is actually thriving now? We pay our bills are paid. Thank you.
Before we get into the next person, okay, I'm gonna try to leave my synopsises for the end of each video. But I think, and I don't have a dog in the fight, okay? Did I grow up watching Tyler Perry, when I was way younger in the plays and stuff, just like everybody else? Yes, I did. But I don't have a dog in the fight. This is not I'm trying to get y'all to see that he's a victim or that these women are wrong. No, I am just, before I get into what I'm going to say, showcasing that even in a man who has dedicated all of his work in supporting these women or showing this imagery or, you know, even at the sake of men coming forward and saying that they can't stand him, they don't like him, you know, they hate how they're depicted. Even at the sake of all of that, he continues to tell the story of women, whether it's being victimizing them or their struggle stories or whatever the case. He's always from the narrative of the plight of the black woman. Okay? And her saying that the bills are paid, there's been situations where the women are making the money. The women are calling the shots. The women are, you know, bossed up. Like even in one of his most famous movies, Why Did I Get Married, where he was the husband, you know, he showcased a successful wife who was cheating on her husband. You know? So I don't know if he's ever portrayed it as if they're all broke and don't got no money and have to figure things out. You know, personally, I just feel like this is men's line. Like, if this was a series of men who had videos against Tyler Perry movies, I would more understand, not necessarily women.
17 minutes into this new Tyler Perry and Taraji P. Henson movie, and it's a no thank you for me. The obsession that Tyler Perry has with the black female struggle, trauma, needs to be studied. It's very telling. And I don't even know why I started, nope, I'm not gonna lie. FOMO. I felt like I was missing out because the movie is all over my socials. Everyone on TikTok is talking about it. Everyone's talking. So I wanted to be a part of the conversation. Holy Spirit had already told me not to watch it. My common sense already knew not to watch it. But I didn't want to miss out, so I started watching it. And 17 minutes into this movie, y'all, my heart felt heavy. I felt so much anxiety. And no judgment to anyone who watched and enjoyed it. But I will say this. Pray about it and use your discernment before consuming that movie.
Now, again, we all know Tyler Perry started off doing the plays in churches, and you know, a lot of his growth came from the Christian audience, right? I think we all are very well aware of that. You know, church people get together, they start having the plays at the church, and then they give it to other people and all that kind of stuff. But what's interesting to me is that when I personally did see the movie Straw, I liked the movie. You know, I'm not gonna lie to you guys, I did. You know, there's a couple things I could say about the movie, but overall I enjoyed the movie, you know, and I looked at it for what it was, a movie telling a story about a particular person's life and a person that's just down and out, right? And I think it was more of to me, it was bigger than just that story. It was what it meant, right? Like, that movie is about a person who can't catch a break. And then when they get to their breaking point, they meet their last straw, right? But I'm not going to say, you know, a lot of the stuff that these women are complaining about, it's just interesting to me that they're complaining about it now. When you guys were all, you know, you guys were all for it from before. You were all for it through all the Why Did I Get Married? You were all for it with all the other movies that came out. Like, it's just weird to me that all of a sudden women are like, okay, we tired of him now telling our story, when the whole time that he was telling it before, you guys would defend him. You guys would tell black men that they don't understand, that they're just jealous that somebody's not speaking up for them. Like, you guys had all this ammunition for men when men said these same exact things about Tyler Perry. But now all of a sudden, there's this, you know, new awakening that we don't want to be depicted that way. Y'all need to be doing better. Y'all need to be showing us in a different light. Like, he has a niche. Like, he has a niche. And in said niche, people gravitate toward and love it. Could it be damaging to the community as a whole? Yes, it could be. Could it be telling the truth of some aspects of the actual community that maybe a smaller portion of people are actually going through? Also, absolutely.
Tyler Perry hates black women. He needs to go to therapy or something because it's getting out of hand. I think that he thinks the writer's room is his therapy. We are well past his early days when he did not have the budget and he did not have the range of writers. You have the budget. You have the range of writers. You have the time to come out with something more than the struggle of women. It's no longer getting to the point where it's relatable. Like, you've been making the same thing over and over. We know what you can do. Show us something different. And unfortunately, I'm getting to a point where it's like, I can't even continue to support you just because you're black, because I'm supporting a stereotype. He is continuing this stereotype of the black community, black families, Like, we're not all struggling. We're not a monolith. Show me the last time he did something that was different. I will wait. It's getting exhausting. And I can really see down the line, 10, 15, 20 years, when people are looking back at these films and they're really, really going to call him out. The same way we are calling out people from the 90s and the early 2000s for problematic things that they have done.
Now, I'm going to say this, right? It clicked in my head watching, that previous woman's video. It clicked in my head that the reason why these women are calling him out is because this is not the generation that built Tyler Perry. Okay, the generation that built Tyler Perry to the capacity that he is by watching and consuming, all of his content is like their moms, right? Their aunties, grandmas, and stuff like that. Like, those are the women who he was talking to because he was from the narrative of a specific struggle. Like, he talked about all the time that he was raised by his mom and his grandma. And so he's speaking from a certain perspective. And so I think that might be where the disconnect is coming into play. But what's so strange, and I have to keep saying it throughout this entire video, is that when Mea Culpa came out, it was all the rave. Like, when these shows come out, they're all the rave. Like, and who's watching it? Y'all are. So somebody's lying. Either y'all can't stand him and y'all don't like him, or, I can understand wanting something fresh and new from somebody, but people watch him because they know kind of like what they're going to get out of the situation. Like, that's the whole purpose of him continuously doing the same storyline, is because people are not going to expect a major shift in conversation out of nowhere.
Netflix new movie Straw.
Somebody needs to call the police on Tyler Perry. His new movie on Netflix, I'm 20 minutes in, and I'm just flabbergasted. My gasted is flabbered, okay? My mind is boggled. Why? This script sucks, bro. It sucks. Like, I don't even know if I want to finish the hour and 26 minutes that's left. Talk about a series of unfortunate events. Like, why is all of this happening to this lady? To this black woman? Like, oh my God. Tyler Perry, you need to go to jail for this movie.
I want to know, I wonder if he put a white woman in the role, if black women would still feel the same way. I wonder if it was a man in the role, if women would feel the same way. Like, I wonder, because I'm not gonna lie, sometimes you go to Rivah, sometimes I like me a little Tubi movie, okay? I am not gonna lie to you guys. Sometimes I don't mind me a little Tubi movie. Sometimes I don't mind me a little film that, the acting a little janky or whatever. It just depends the mood that I'm in. I will watch it. I'm just gonna be, very honest with you guys. But, I keep hearing, just like you guys keep hearing, the same tune, that these women, again, who he has supported, who he has defended, who he thought that he was sharing their narrative, and who he thought that he was representing, keep coming out and constantly saying that they are tired of this man telling this story in this way. They're over it. They are at this point where they're like, we have reached our brink. We don't want to hear it no more. Everybody else better be thriving and surviving. But the weird part is that if majority of his audience, is looking at him to continue in this way, and so to make them feel supported in this way, if he switches it up for a portion of people who are trying to cancel him or whatever the case is, then what's gonna happen? What's he gonna do? I think that in a portion of the Diary of a Mad, Why Did I Get Married videos, I think that it was a more balanced perspective. You had some women that was doing foolishness and drama. You had men that were doing foolishness and drama. You had women that were doing stuff that was trifling, and you had men doing stuff that was trifling. And, I think that in some various points of different stories, it does showcase a woman being wrong in certain ways, But it's just, again, I was shocked. Just like how the girl had said her gabber was, her flabber was gasted, so was mine. when I saw this alongside the lawsuit that's also taking place. Because it's like your female fan base is against you, and then you got this big old lawsuit trying to take you down. Like, what's really going on?
Tyler Perry, I am begging you, sir, please hear me, please. Sir, right now you have a whole lot of control over how black women view ourselves, okay? And over then how the rest of the world views us. You, sir, are writing the narrative of black women for the mass media, overwhelmingly so. We need you to help us out. Mr. Tyler Perry, sir, I respect you. You see this tattoo? Climb and maintain that was inspired by you. I respect your story. I respect your hustle. I respect the faith that you have in yourself. Sir, please hear me. Please. As a black woman, I am coming to you and telling you we need something different. We need you to depict us in a different kind of way. You got Megan Good, sir. With all due respect, Megan Good. She's a lot of our original queen. My original queen, Megan Good. From Cousin Skeeter, okay? From Crooked Front Teeth, Megan Good. Flat-chested, bony, Megan Good. We have been able to see her grow into the...
Now, you did not have to do all of that. You did not have to talk about flat-chested, crooked teeth. That was shady. That was shady.
The woman who she is, the goddess that she is. So many of us look up to her. So many of us are inspired by her. And we would love to see her play characters that inspire us. She's been through love and heartbreak and divorce and highs and lows, and she's beautiful. She's gorgeous. She's successful. She's fulfilled. Is there no character that she could play that could inspire us, that make us feel all tingly on the inside? Mr. Perry, sir, why does every black woman character that you write, that I see, maybe not all of them, correct me if I'm wrong, but why do they always got something wrong? Do you understand how much of our self-image you control? And there's something in there, Mr. Perry, sir. There's something in there that you need to heal.
I would say if it was a woman writing these stories, I would say that maybe there's something in there that you need to heal. But I feel that in this, and maybe I can see what she's saying. Maybe she's saying like, the trauma that was, passed down to him, maybe from his mom and his grandma. Maybe that's what she's talking about. And she's saying, that's what he needs to heal. But from my perspective, like I said, he has a niche, right? And he has so many different shows that go on. He has Sisters. He has, Zatima. He has all these other things that are going on. And people are, supporting it, watching it, whatever the case. And, Megan Good played a movie that was very similar to the role that Jennifer Lopez played in the movie Enough, right? And, in these movies, again, in his particular box that he is in, it is the stories of, black women who are going through certain things. But he also did that movie with Kerry Washington where he was talking about, I don't know if it was a pilots or soldiers or something like that. This movie here on the screen, the 6888, was about, soldiers and stuff like that, and showing, that black women were a part of certain things, even though they were overlooked. So, I mean, I let me tell you the part that I disagree with. I do agree that there's one tone to a lot of the content. I do agree. I do agree that there is some injustice being done, but I believe that the scale, if anybody should be complaining, I believe that when the men complain, I don't have a problem with what the things that they are saying, because the scale is more tipped that way for men to be upset. Right? When men say like, oh, we're always the villain, we're always hurting them, we don't be around our kids, we be this, like, that narrative is pushed to the forefront. But I feel that he has shown women in various capacities, and, women who are successful, women who are not successful, women who are going through tumultuous situations, women who have careers and the man ain't no good. Like, I think that he's shown various situations of, women when it comes to, again, like I said, their success level, their finance level, but the narrative is always the same. His perspective is showing the struggle of the black woman. Again, and the people that I see on here complaining about the content is black women. That is just like crazy to me.
there is some wounded feminine energy that you are holding on to that has you depicting black women in a very pained way. You keep writing us in these same pained, dramatic stories over and over again. There's something that you have got to release so that you can write us into our future. You are the one with the power to do that. The rest of us don't have billion-dollar studios, sir. It's just you. It's just you. You have got your universe. Your universe has got to become a far more bright place. My heart hurts. I'm only 20 minutes into this movie and my skin feels heavy and my chest hurts. That's the effect that your movies are having on us. That's the energy of them. What's going on, sir? Help us out. Give us something that'll inspire us. Give us something that'll have us feeling like the most magical, amazing people on the planet. We tired of being broken. We tired.
It's interesting that she said we're tired of being broken and we're tired. It's interesting that she is, explaining herself with such stress because, again, that's the same exact thing that he depicts in his movies. That's the same thing. The same thing that she was emphasizing while she was talking is the same thing that he puts into the movies. And this is the second person that said that they felt the weight or they felt burdened down or they felt, stressed out when watching it or they felt like it was too heavy to consume. And my genuine question would be to those women who say that is why? Why is that? Is it that you feel like, you're in a happy space and so you can't relate and so it's heavy to you? Is it that you feel like it's, a twisted thing or like sick and then you can't take it in that way? Is it that, you're so far gone from being in, I would love to know the reasoning why that this specific movie has created this call to action.
You may or may not have just seen Tyler Perry's recent black woman struggle film titled Straw, okay? Sorry guys, it's loud out here. And it just got me thinking, why is it, first of all, it's starring Taraji P. Henson, of course. And it's like she doesn't care about the image she's putting out, not only for herself, one as an actress, but just black women as a whole. Tyler Perry's shicked, okay, his niche has been just showing black women in a terrible light as being abused, being bullied, being mistreated.
I tell me if I'm wrong. Isn't that what it's always been? Tell me if I'm wrong. But it's interesting that, she's saying this about Taraji, but Taraji, I wouldn't say she acts to that extent on a daily basis, but when she was talking about, some of the struggles that she was going through with working on The Color Purple and stuff like that, it was the same her being like, I'm tired and I want, somebody to speak up for me. I think that's why she was chosen for the role because it's like she does that for free. Right? She expresses how tired she is for black women as a whole for free. And it's so weird because let me tell you the thing, right? I'm not saying that I don't agree with some of these sentiments and I don't want to get that misconstrued. But what's so strange to me and weird to me is that black women talk about, oh, nobody protects us. Nobody speaks up for us. Nobody represents us. Nobody looks out for us. If we need help, nobody's there to help us. And then you have somebody who is, attempting to be that voice and show like they're weak. They're the weaker vessel. They're always going through something. Have compassion for them because they're victims in all these kind of situations. And then those same women are mad. And then we'll turn around if a new studio comes in tomorrow and depicts the complete opposite, we'll turn around and tell them to cancel that person too.
Not loved correctly, not loved, adored, admired, respected, protected, honored, cherished, etc., at all. Right, in Tyler Perry Productions. I saw the freaking trailer for Straw, and it's an absolute no for me. But it got me brainstorming, right? Imagine we make a modern day black film, right? Starring a young, attractive, gorgeous, intelligent, accomplished African-American couple, right? And they are blissfully married, okay? Well, again, that's the key. They are happily married. On one of their marriage anniversaries, right? To celebrate their anniversary being married, they take a trip to Africa. Let's say they go to either to Madagascar, Seychelles, the island of Seychelles, but specifically, let's say for their honeymoon, they go to Africa to view the pyramids, right? And it actually transports them to time, right? Like the ancient...
Girl, you doing the wrong thing, okay? You done put this idea out there publicly for somebody to take it. You need to call somebody. You need to find some directors in your area, some people that you watch some films on Tubi or whatever. You need to call some people and tell them this idea, because I'm so hooked into the plot. Like, I'm over here trying to figure out where I could watch this movie because I'm so hooked into what she's saying, and I think it's a brilliant idea.
Ancient Africa, where they were Egyptians, and it's just like a sci-fi type of fantasy movie. How come we don't get nothing like that, bro? I'm so sick and tired of Tyler Perry and all these like black trauma corn films, if you will. It's just a bunch of trauma, drama, and dysfunction. Again, I will not be supporting Tyler Perry moving forward. I just can't do it no more, guys.
Tyler Perry is so full of crap, talking about, oh, well, I did it to pay homage to my sisters, my aunts, my mothers, grandmothers. If that was the case, you did that 30 movies ago. Talking about some representation of the reality. First of all, even if that's the case, do you think a woman who's working 2 jobs to support her children, stressed, depressed, can't even afford to send them lunch money, eviction notice on their door, wants to come home, turn the TV on, and seeing a movie that projects her entire life?
I think that's what a lot of women are missing, with everything that she's saying, for his growth, for where he is, for people supporting him and watching him. The proof has been in the pudding that, yes, they do want to see that, because they feel like they're not alone in their struggle. They feel like people understand where they're coming from. They feel like Tyler Perry specifically understands where they're coming from. They don't feel, like I said, like alone in their struggle. So actually, yeah, people do want to see stuff like that. They actually do want to see it. How many times have we seen, I watch a lot of romantic comedies and stuff like that. Like, I'm, that kind of person. And so watching those women, I never see like women saying, we're so tired of a woman, crying and then a man coming to save her in like the white sphere. I'm just being honest. We don't see those actors saying, oh, we're tired of all these romantic comedies where this guy does this and he does that and he helps her out and he changes her life and he gives her money and he does it. They don't really say that. And so highlighting the dysfunction, it's so ironic because there's more dysfunction even in the conversation about the dysfunction that's really going on within the community as a whole in general. Do I personally feel that there should be different stories that are told on a high regard about Black families, Black family structures, positive representation of Black people in general when it comes to movies and television and media as a whole? Absolutely. That's, hello, I talk about it almost every day here on this platform. When I'm doing these reactions and talk about it, we're literally highlighting the dysfunction so that we can bring back shame and take away that certain type of mentality, that narrative, and also show like, hey, there are happy, wholesome marriages. Hey, there are women who are submissive to their husbands. Hey, there are men who are there for their kids and raise their kids. Not every guy is a deadbeat, So yes, I would love that to be 100,000,000%. But are you going to put the onus on the person who has proven time and time again that that's not where they are, or that's not the stories that they are trying to tell? If they are wanting to tell a certain version, no. But if y'all watching it and promoting it and enjoying it and commenting and doing all these other things, it's saying that's what you guys like. Just like y'all talk about how, y'all don't like how, a small portion of people don't like how Megan Thee Stallion portrays herself or Sexy Red in them. But when Sherry Shepherd called them out on her national platform, she got canceled for it. When India Arie talked about, what was going on at the Essence Festival and how there's a time and place for everything, and that wasn't the time or the place, she got backlash. When the Queen Mother, Felicia Rashad, was on the Breakfast Club talking about the way that women are carrying themselves in this generation and the way that women dress, people called her a pick-me. So a lot of these women are saying two things. They're saying, we don't want to be depicted in this way, but at the same time, when we look at you in real life, you're matching the depiction, because y'all always complaining. You always say something is wrong. You're always the victim. Somebody always did something to you, and he is showcasing that in his movies that you guys are, again, in turn, watching.
Terrible ending at that? Now, representation does matter, but you can also do that in a positive light. The only time you try to do a comedic relief movie is when you do a Medea movie that you're the lead in. Especially with Taraji coming on here saying that people don't pay her enough, but that you paid her enough, and she appreciates that. Of course she's gonna do a movie for you. The only one that's paying her. To minimize her entire catalog, stress and oppressed movies is not even fair to her as an actress. Even some of y'all keep coming on here saying, oh, well, make him rich at least, make him this at this. He did. Beauty in Black, but portrayed them as all evil, conniving fiends and addicts. As a man of that caliber, he should take time to realize the effects he's having on people, make that change.
Tyler Perry is cut from this household. Do not watch that goddamn movie. Do not watch any more of his movies. His obsession with portraying black women in this just desperate, overexhausted, tiring, lonely, isolated perspective is tired. It's tired and it's old, and I'm not having it no more. I honestly can't remember the last piece of work I watched from him. I don't know what's in his contract. I feel like that's a part of him being able to have his own studios, is that he has to keep making these stories of like trying to suffocate us with seeing black women in just such a poor light. Turn this shit off. Don't piss me off. Just turn it off. Don't give me no think pieces. Don't talk about it. Don't write. Let him know. He needs to know it's tired and it's old. At this point, people have been screaming, begging for him to give other people an opportunity to create something. And he's just refusing. He's refusing. Nobody wants to keep hearing or watching the same tired old story about trying to portray a black woman as a fucking slave, something beneath a slave, overexhausting themselves for fucking what? You have your own studio, and this is all you got. This is the best that you got. And I know it's not the best that you got. I know that's not the best that can be created from the space that you have been able to build for not only yourself but for other people. Which is why I really believe it's probably part of his contract of being able to keep that shit. He has to keep us at a low level and keep portraying us in such a low light that it's, to be honest, not accurate at all. And that's really why it pisses me off, because y'all don't understand, like, a lot of these people that are not black, that's how they view black people. They watch these movies to get exposure to black people. That's the only type of exposure that they have to black people. And that's probably the reason why when you go outside, they be so spooked and they be looking at you crazy and shit, because they so used to watching fucking 12 Years a Slave or A Black Woman.
It's weird to me that she says that, because there was a whole trend on social media where, you know, white kids showed their white parents the movie Straw in their reactions. And that's actually not the narrative. The narrative becomes the same thing that men have been saying for a long time, that all black men are wrong. They don't take care of their kids. They're horrible fathers. They're horrible men. They're horrible men to even be in relationships with. They probably beat everybody in the house, you know, and that the women are these soft victims that are so strong because they have to carry the weight of everybody else's, you know, pain and stuff like that. And so a lot of people who have empathy to the black community only have that same empathy towards the women, and definitely not to the men. So it becomes this divide. Hence why when these women then come on social media and talk about feminism, stuff like that, they also start leaping into the conversation with black women, because they're like, oh, I know y'all get it because we watch these movies and y'all men ain't this. And we watch you guys on social media complain about your men on a daily basis. And we watch, you know, you women talk about your baby daddies and stuff like that. And y'all have no self-control. And, you know, you guys should be on our side because we're, you know, one and the same for each other. So it, again, I understand the narrative that people are talking about, but I feel like as women, it's just weird to me, because it's like when men were saying this, nobody cared. When men were crying for, you know, the dark man, or the dark skinned man to stop being the villain in the movie, and the light skinned man to be the savior, when they were crying about the way that men are depicted in these movies, nobody cared. No one. Not even these women. But now that they decided that they're tired today and they're over it, now all of a sudden there has to be some drastic change to the situation when the majority of his support has been from these same women.
Go through some of the most heinous things possible, looking crazy as fuck, hair not did, makeup not did, looking trashy, looking like a bum, dealing with bums. That's what they're used to seeing. And I can understand to an extent, because if you're not around these people, what else are you supposed to expect? You would be terrified too.
And I will not be doing a movie review on Straw after Sinners. I'm not taking no more of y'all movie suggestions. Obviously, just given the nature of the movie, I am tired, okay? Tyler Perry, I understand that you want to capture the struggle of the black woman, but that's not all we're about, okay? This has been your MO since you came onto the scene as a movie producer.
This I respect. The fact that she's saying that this is what he's all been on, because a lot of people are trying to act like he done, got brand new and was doing something strange. He's been on the same wave from the beginning of time. It's not like he just woke up one day and decided, I'm going to start changing my narrative. He's doing the same thing he's been doing. Just like McDonald's, they have documentaries saying that all these things, and they do the same thing they've been doing since whatever time. Same thing.
And director, why don't you give us a movie where we're painted as the queens we are? Something positive, opening up a successful business, changing lives, which we do on a daily basis. We do more, and we are worth more than just Hollywood looking at us struggle and strive and get to the top, doing what we can as single black moms on the last straw, the job, the baby daddy. That's not all we're about. So if that's what you think of when you look at black women, I'm finna stop supporting you too. Starting with this movie. I will not be watching it. I will take y'all word for it. I'm tired of it. I'm tired of us being painted in Hollywood as slaves or under somebody's foot to even get a decent piece of the pie, or struggling single black mothers fighting and striving to get to the top. I'm aggravated, okay? Aggravated.
She's so funny. Like, the way how she talks is just, I know she's not meaning to be funny. I know she's serious, but she's very funny. But, the women have spoken, okay? The women have spoken, and it's going to be interesting to see if there's going to be notes taken. It's going to be interesting to see if he now then creates a new film that's a little bit more, different or balanced. And listen, nobody's perfect. And if a space is working for him, okay, then that's what he's going to continue to do. Now, like I said, there has been spots before that he's been a little bit more balanced in his approach. I'm going to be honest. I can only think of that one movie. I can't really think of too many more. But I think it's always important that when you are in a space that you are having certain conversations, that you are honest and true to what you believe, and he's depicting his same thing that he's been depicting. Again, like I said before, do I think it's possible that it can be affecting the imagery, across the globe, that people see black people? Yes, but can we just be honest? The way that women are depicting themselves on social media and in real life on a daily basis is just as bad too. So I would love that, yes, he should take some notes and maybe change some things. And I think that women for real, in real life, who are, promoting city girl behavior, who are promoting ratchet behavior, but who are supporting city girl behavior, ratchet behavior, that they would take a change as well to, change their tune. Try different things. How about you don't tell everything and put everything all out there? How about you don't do that? How about you don't show everything? And how about when our elders speak, we have respect for them, for class, for decorum. Sherry Shepherd came out and spoke about, like I said, I'm just using this for an example, about, Felicia Rashad, and I'm sorry, about Megan Thee Stallion. And they were like, well, you never look that good, so how would you know? Like, don't police women's bodies. Like, what do you want? You want the freedom? You want the stories told? You want, I'm not sure what the aim is. I could have thought of so many other different movies that people could have a problem with, and they had no problem with those Tyler Perry movies. But this one in particular, which I personally thought was like the least, you know, it was just showing a down and out person, a woman that went through stuff and even ends up going through mental health issues based off of her level of stress. I just felt like it was a struggle story that, yeah, man or woman in particular could relate to. That's what I felt like. Maybe it's my perception that was off. I don't know. I'd like to know what you guys think about this entire situation in the comment section down below. Make sure you guys hit that subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. And I will see you guys in the next one. Love you.
Rivah TV.